The 21st century plague. Let us reform this world and celebrate a time of peace. Aragorn. The consequences of the corporate agenda have finally come home to roost. Mass incarceration in prisons and detention centers spread the deadly virus. The anti-education system has to shut down. Children learn at home with stressed out parents worried about their jobs and health. There is no affordable child care for them, no paid family leave. Government non-essential workers are laid off. Restaurants, businesses, and bars, and gyms, and churches are closed. We are all locked in our houses, self-quarantined. The government is desperate to bail out Wall Street and the airlines. The Fed immediately stuffs their pockets with $1.5 trillion. The stock market continues to fall. The corporate government struggles to pass any emergency help for the rest of us. Consumers rush to the grocery store to hoard supplies. The celebrity apprentice president says this could last for months and months. People without pay, how will they be able to carry on? The for-profit medical system is overwhelmed. There are not enough staff, nurses, or doctors, ICU beds, ventilators, hospitals, or medicine for the thousands that may need help. Soon, if this continues to grow geometrically, people cannot afford to get a test or manage their health in any way due to co-pays, high fees, and deductibles, and high insurance payments. European countries under social democracy handle the crisis with family leave, Medicare for all already in place, community centers, and adequate supplies and staff all ready to handle it as best as they can, and much, much better than our short-sighted and narrow-minded corporate-run medical care. This is the crisis where many people get sick and many die, because we are a reactive society and must suffer before we ever do the obvious and right thing. End the era of gangster capitalism. Real Americans are waiting for the revolution to happen because it is the right thing to do. We are not lazy or apathetic. We are concerned to have a revolution that does not result in violence, but is a natural and easy progression from late-stage gangster capitalism, the corruption of oligarchy, and the threat of civilization collapse, into a more fair and equal and effective socio-democratic government of, by, and for the people, not just the rich and powerful. Real Americans are waiting for the government to make this happen with hope. And progressives like Bernie and Tulsi and AOC and others who know what must be done and have policies in place and are passing legislation to make things better for the hardworking poor in the richest country in the history of the world. And these popular progressive policies are increasingly proven right when the crisis comes. We are ill prepared to do anything but improve the profits of the filthy rich again. Meanwhile, the masses go on suffering and sacrificing and patiently waiting for our obsolete institutions to catch up with the rest of the world, while we languish in cutthroat gangster capitalism's 5 decades of decay, with this final decade of its agonized death throes. This could either be the worst summer or the best. No one knows which way it'll go. This is the disaster we've been worrying about for years. This is why we demand urgent action now to save the future from total extinction. What happens if a natural disaster jumps on the scene? Hurricanes or more wildfires to compound this economic and medical fiasco. Karma can be quite tough. Mother Earth and the universe demand it is time to pay for our selfishness and cruelty. The time is now upon us all to pause and think of the future we want for our troubled nation. It is long past time to end this unfair class war and find the courage and will to change. We must put our reluctance away, all of us humans everywhere, and allow the progressive movement to prosper and save us from our greed and selfishness and vanity. This terrible crisis is also a chance to recognize what has been going on in the bedrock of our society for all these years. Years of oppression and economic inequality and the unrelenting tyranny of abject homelessness and poverty. From too many deployments in hopeless and unjust wars for the wealthy to prosper off heroin and oil. Too many high-priced necessities, with everybody along the line getting top dollar, while the hard-working poor suffer from part-time nowhere jobs without benefits and subcontracted work without any rights or union representation. Now is the time to see what our lives of teaching peace and love have inspired quietly in the oppressed hearts of our fellow citizens. As we have always said since the 1970s, the time is now to end this false neoclassist Platonian representative farce and end the militant corporate empire. We the people must bring the elite class to justice and fire all the stooges in government and big business who enabled this betrayal of our individual freedoms and rights. In a true return to economic justice for all and respect for the rule of law, we must limit the abuses and criminal negligence of the elite class and those who have been in power in the United States and have betrayed their sacred oath and civic duty to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.